It kind of helped them advance. I mean, do you think this was a conspiracy?
You gotta go with Jacob Butter. Gotta go lefty.
No, we're talking about the players. That's tournament champion into the podcast.
There he is, right there.
Oh, he doesn't even know how to watch. Go to youtube.com and search Down Lane Podcast. What's up, bowlers? Welcome to Down Lane Podcast. We are streaming live from the lab at Town & Country Lanes. I'm your host, Kyle Haines, and with me is the assistant to the host, Anthony Boxhead Scaccia. Welcome to the show.
Feliz Navidad.
It's close. Hello, Town & Country Lanes. We're ringing again.
I think I forgot to take the phone out here. Also, I tried to put a box on my head for fun, but I couldn't get the flap down so you guys could hear me.
Austin, welcome back to the podcast. Thank you for coming back this week.
I was muted.
It's not fun trying to be in control of the controls when Austin's not here.
I mean, I'm always in control, so I feel like that's easy for me.
Sure. So tonight we are talking about the latest.
Tonight we are blurry.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, the internet. It's like
What internet?
Beep, burp,
Must
beep,
be the
burp,
drones.
Beep boop, beep boop. Oh, the drones.
Cutting off our internet supply. They're trying to take away.
What
our
are the
communication.
drones doing?
God, we don't want to talk about that. I've already done
They're
that.
coming out of the ocean.
2:30 a.m. I was up till researching these drones to figure out if I need to start leaving to another planet or to
Exercising for the
draft.
For the draft.
It's either I'm gonna gain a ton of weight so I like can't run. So if it's like you're at the top of the age and you're just too fat to be on the team.
And you guys think that I'm crazy
Or
for sucking this bad at the weight loss.
Yeah, but you're
challenge.
already over the age limit. Like me and Austin are in the age limit.
I got asthma. They ain't taking me.
Oh, you're good. I mean, I am literally, have the strength of a full-grown man plus 2 baby fetus. So I am literally one of a kind out there in the army. So they're gonna want me. My lung capacity is probably a little bit better too, because I got a little bit more lung capacity with 2 baby fetus lungs, and I should be able to do things better than the other people.
Well, don't forget to like, subscribe, click the bell to get alerts to get more of whatever this is.
This could be
Hey,
one
you
of the
can
last
follow
times you see me
Anthony's
here.
military progress, you know?
You guys, this could be one of the last times you guys see me. I mean, I might be drafted early. They might be like, we need you because you're a leader.
Anthony's going to be in the Space Force.
And yeah, I've been preparing myself for either my head being ripped off by aliens or I will be in an intergalactic war with spaceships. So that's how my days go.
Well, if you can't watch on YouTube or Facebook, you can always download and listen via your favorite podcast service. Don't forget to email us at downlanepod@gmail.com because you can get all kinds of great stuff with whatever is going on in Anthony's head lately. What's
It's been
up,
a
Taylor,
whirlwind.
Corey, C-Lance? How's it going, guys?
Got a whirlwind.
Thanks for joining us in the chat. All the other people watching, you guys can chat
Orange
with us.
shoulder.
Yeah,
We'll let that stop.
I don't
me.
know if they care about the shoulders.
listen, in times of need, beggars can't be choosers. So
Listen, I mean, hey, you know what? Maybe it'll work. Maybe it won't. I don't know. I'm just trying to prepare my life for the way I'm going.
tonight we are going to talk about the Brunswick news of them purchasing a distribution business.
When did
So
that happen?
we'll get into that in a few minutes. But before we do, how'd your guys' week go this week? Other than potentially thinking you're going to win the draft.
Yeah.
Not to baseball, football, or bowling, or any other draft.
military.
Military draft.
Got my card out and everything. What do they call those things? You need like a little card.
No idea.
You're gonna have like that shot line where you walk in and go and they shoot you with a bunch of things. And how's my week gone? Let's see. Monday I bowled pretty average. Tuesday I bowled pretty good. Had a little bit of had to rush out of here. Had some stuff I had to take care of when I got home.
Clean up pig poop.
Nah, I think I ate something bad. But I bowled pretty good. I think I shot 740 that night. And then last night I watched you guys practice, but you guys didn't show up.
I wasn't here.
I watched.
I was
other people
taking the
practice.
kids out to do Christmassy things.
Lame.
I made chicken meatballs with gnocchi.
Ooh, gnocchi's so good.
Kyle.
Yeah.
Calm
I know.
down over here. And then, I bowled pretty good. I know Austin was here Monday and Tuesday. How'd you hit him? Using pink ball. Pink ball roll good.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
What
some
pink?
metal salad.
Oh. That's not pink, dude. That's purple. Pink logo. That's not a pink ball.
Whatever,
Violet.
Kyle. Yeah, whatever.
You said solid, right?
Yeah, we don't care what you think.
Yeah,
Okay, sorry.
Color.
I bowled pretty good this week. Definitely no complaints. Lost a lot of points somehow.
Yeah.
Matty Tuesdays kicked Nick and I's teeth in because he subbed.
Last week?
Yep.
I don't know how we
Thursday.
did last week. I can't remember.
Man,
Oh, we
we
lost
talk
last
about
week.
we lost.
You're in a barn burner.
We were up.
Yeah, his barn got burned down.
No,
we're-
but he's in a barn burner right now.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
I gotta
first
bowl him.
point.
No, it's you're bowling.
You guys
us,
made it up
yeah.
second.
We're in fourth or fifth.
Oh, tonight's
The
not
top,
official,
the
right?
top
Okay.
the top three can move, but under us,
Yeah, like we're
it's
done.
pretty solidified.
Like, no, I mean we can move down.
Well, you could
but
go down.
We
but
can't go up.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
we have no, like, you know how
The
they say
top three have
there's
7
nowhere else to
points.
go from here.
Yeah.
We literally have
You
nowhere.
hit
else
your
from here.
ceiling.
Yeah, we can't.
So-
Everybody is 47, 47,
Chris-
47.
Chris and Andy are 47.5. Mark Taylor and Nikki are 47. Me and Richie are 47.
All I know is that when I throw the ball here, me and Nick, we have sparks coming off the back of the ball, so
why I
we
throw the
can't.
I don't want to
strike.
hear it.
I don't believe it.
I don't want to hear it. I make it
I don't
work.
throw it as hard as you. I throw it slow. Anyway,
How hard
Uh,
do you think I throw it?
Yeah, I'm confused, Kyle. You guys got to be pretty close.
it's probably pretty close.
He might have a little bit more, but he's also got a
But
little
he
bit
can
more.
go. He can go way in and saw on it.
Maybe you should do better. I don't know what
I
to
can't
tell
saw
you.
on it like that.
Or do something with
Listen,
your hand.
I
don't know.
tried the plastic ball thing. Way too much hook.
Too much look for plastic.
Oh.
Anyway,
I see wet dry with my plastic ball.
Yeah. Well, listen, I've seen it too. But we also bowled this weekend. I bowled in the club. You bowled at the Diggers
Doubles.
Doubles.
Oh, how'd that go?
Is over under 50 for those of you that aren't from our area.
Yeah.
You bowled with your pops.
Yeah, but with my dad, yeah.
How'd
Not
that
my-
go?
Not my grandpa, but my dad.
Your pops. People sometimes refer to their dads as pops.
Well, I
What's up,
don't.
pops?
Because that's like, that runs like a popsicle. It's a little weird.
Anyway, how'd you bowl? Oh, first of all, we should say this was a Greg Tack 40-something foot,
debacle.
35 mils, no oil
flat.
outside of 5.
It was
or
5 to
4.
5, 35 milliliters inside of 5 to 5. So there was really no shape to pattern. It was pretty flat. Outside of 5, there really wasn't anything. There might have been, but I don't really.
No. It was 0
Right.
oil. It was 1 to 4.
Yeah. Okay. Well. Yeah. So that's what it was. I mean, we bowled pretty good. We won Team Jackpot the first game. I was feeling good.
Wow.
We had 480
First game?
first game.
Wow.
Boom. And then after that, I don't think it went well. I mean, it didn't go bad. I don't mean it didn't go like well, but like we just didn't have the games we needed. I think we hit a tricky pair on 13-14 where I believe John Wilbur and Todd Lathrop were actually leading going into the last game. They hit that pair and both shot 150, I believe.
Wow. Ooh.
That pair we hit second. I ended up getting 227 on that pair. My dad had 157, and he bowled good.
Must have been a right side thing.
Well, we bowled with Galusha and Bill Green, and they also had like the right lane was like oiled 67 feet. And the left lane, it was pretty normal. So they were really tricky how to play. And if you didn't play them just right, they didn't do anything. My dad had a good look, but as soon as he tried to get a little bit left, he 2-8-10 every shot, and the ball just never made it around the corner.
I mean, how couldn't it? There was a freaking literal puddle of oil in the middle of the lane.
Yeah. And it was 40 feet. So there was a little bit of hook out there. I mean, if you missed left, I mean, the ball really didn't sit there this year. It just jetted left at the back of the pattern. You really had to be outside.
Reverse buffer drop was 35 feet too, right? Like it went down on the lane at 35 feet.
Honestly, I don't even know.
I don't remember.
When I saw the pattern, I didn't look at it anymore. I just knew that the outside boards were dry and that you have to play the outside. So, yeah, I mean, he used Ion Max. He didn't really strike with it a whole lot besides the first game. He just never got the corner pins out. And then when he would switch to a different ball, they would kind of pick up and spark off it because they were a little bit of a stronger layout, a stronger response to friction layout. So those balls just kind of picked up a little too quick, and then he would try to go a little left, and it never struck. So for me, I used the trusty Zen-U, and I was 100 over with a 198 game in there. I think I missed only splits, I think. So I was pretty clean. I had a pretty good spare shooting day, even though I forgot my spare ball here. So good thing we bring 3 urethanes.
It sounds like you should have bowled better. You know, it's a team event.
Yeah, I was 100 over. I did pretty good. I remember the first game I started off with like the front 6 or the front 5. It was one of the two. And then I threw a bad shot and I washed out. I threw it kind of like up the lane, and urethane doesn't really hook anyways when there's that much oil. So I did have a little bit of tug, but not that much.
How did the guy? So there's a squad Saturday night.
Hold on, can I finish my story?
Oh, sorry, I didn't know you weren't done because you just ramble. So I thought.
No, I was
Go
sorry.
ahead,
I
go
missed
ahead,
right
go ahead.
and
Yeah,
washed
go
out. And then I didn't make my spare, obviously. So I went and threw the next shot, and I threw a better shot, and I struck. So I come back, and I'm like, man, sorry I threw that bad shot, Dad. It was just a bad shot. He looked at me, and in all seriousness, he goes, I think if you played a little bit straighter, you'd probably be bowling better. But meanwhile, I have like 6 out of 7 or 7 out of 8 at this point. And
Typical Jack skate. I love it.
If you played a little straighter, you'd be bowling better. And I looked at him, and I was like, are you freaking kidding me right now? Like, I literally can strike from anywhere. I threw one a little bit to the right on that shot, and you're telling me that I need to be straighter. So I did go 100 over. I went like 237.
I mean, I assume if you did go straighter, if you got closer to the dry, it would
hook too early.
Way bounce off.
Yeah.
The actual dry. We're actually literally mean dry. It was horrible.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't. I mean, you weren't there. It wasn't that
I know.
bad.
But it's not how
I
a
could
lane should
loop
be
it.
oiled.
I mean, I watched
in my
Matt
opinion.
loft the left gutter, and then one shot he never hit the lane. And what I mean by that is it literally landed in the gutter.
It's not fair. He's not here to defend himself.
Well, he'll be here later to defend himself. We can make fun of him for that. I was a little bit right, and I was like, Matt, my freaking ball's hooking a mile. Why are you still lofting the left gutter? Like, I'm trying to. I mean, it was hooking a mile.
Oh, he was so far left.
Yes, he had to throw over the gutter onto the lane. It wasn't like he. Yeah, so he didn't get.
You would be standing where I would be standing when it's like 8 games in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically. So yeah, I mean, they really weren't terrible. I mean, they were a little bit tricky. You couldn't move in. I thought that, with that type of pattern, you kind of blow out the guys who can't really get up the lane as much, so I didn't, it wasn't my favorite thing because I felt like some guys were shut out. And I think some guys knew it. But otherwise, the scores went from plus 60 after game 2 to plus 160 for game 3. So I was on the approach game 4. And we're right in the hunt. Plus, I think it was plus about 70, and he had to be close to even. So the cut was 60 over going to 3. I'm like, well, we catch a big game here. If I catch a big game, I shoot 250. He shoots 220, 230, where we actually shot 480 on that side of the house we finished on. I'm like, we got a chance. And then I'm on the approach, and all of a sudden I hear them go, the cut for game 3 is 160 over. And I stopped. I dropped my ball in the rack. I looked backwards. And I said, do you say 160 or just 60? And they were like 160. And I said, well, okay, we might as well go for fun here, and then we can go home.
It's practice time.
But we had a good time. It was a good tournament. The pattern was, it wasn't as crazy as last year's. It was a little bit more, I guess I would say, more playable, but you really had to be on the gutter. You had to throw it to the friction. You couldn't be too far left. So, we bowled on those plenty of times. We bowled on the Masters, we bowled on it last year, and then I bowled on this one this year. So even though they're different feet, they basically play the same. You got to play a little bit closer to the friction of the ball. It just kind of hook sets or just stops. So, we have experience on those patterns now. So there's no more complaining, but I just don't think those are the patterns that should be made. I don't think they're useful.
How did the Saturday guys do that bowled in that squad that crushed them? Did they play? Did it seem like they played the same way? Do you know? Or
somebody said that our shift looked like it hooked more. I mean, that's what
all
they
you
said.
got.
Yeah,
how did those guys do? Did they make it in? Well, I guess they automatically made it in the finals. But how did they do when they got to that day? Did they re-roll for finals?
Yeah, they reeled like 5 times. They reeled like twice on Saturday. I think they had 2 shifts Saturday.
Oh, 2 shifts Saturday.
I think, and then they oiled both shifts. Then they oiled both shifts Sunday, and then they oiled for the finals. So that lane bed saw 175 units of oil in 2 days.
I hope they bought extra.
They really weren't terrible. You couldn't even tell it was 40 feet. I think there was so much oil in the lane that we talked about how it actually slows down the ball. I actually think that is a fact. Like, I watched it, and the balls didn't go down the lane incredibly fast. And everyone was telling me, don't stand your ball. Don't stand your ball. And I looked at him and said, the frig am I not going to try and slow down the friction? I don't want it to jump off the friction.
Yeah.
Then somebody asked me, how was it not throwing urethane? They took it out of your hand. And I looked at the guy and said, buddy, I threw urethane for 4 games and was 100 over. So you didn't take it out. There was no taking it out. I mean, if anything, it amplified the left, how good the left was.
Right.
You know, you could throw urethane and the lane was never going to change. I don't understand why. I mean, I know a few guys made it a little farther than me, but they were like, oh, no, urethane was bad. I had to use this ball. And I looked at him and said, I don't know what the frig you're talking about.
Yeah. Oh, they right-handed?
No, they're lefties.
Oh, geez.
They were like, I use this ball. And I said, well, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
I'm not trying. I didn't want to hook it too much, but it was overall it was a good tournament. I mean, me and my dad had fun.
Sometimes that's all that matters.
He was like, I forgot how hard it is to move pairs.
Oh, like physically
and mentally, because he's just been bowling league because he was hurt. He hasn't really done anything crazy or gone out and bowled. So he's like, man, I just forgot. You know, you move pairs and this pair is different, and then I got to bring my stuff down, and my bag feels heavy.
Yep.
And he's like, he had a 2-ball bag with him, and he's like, I don't need this. I just want to bring one. So he just brought one for most of the day.
I do the same thing.
First spares everything.
Whatever ball I feel comfortable with, and my spare ball. That's the only thing I'm bringing.
Well, if we're in a house like this, 100%, like I'll leave my balls where they are, and then I'll take one tote, and then I'll have my spare ball, the ball I'm using, and the ball I think I'm going to go to next. And then if it doesn't work, then I'm like, okay, well, no matter what, I'm 10 lanes away. It's not that bad. But when you go to a place that's 60 or something lanes, you got to bring stuff with you because it's like you got to
you got to find it.
Yeah.
You don't have time to go look. Where did I put that bag?
Especially if there's 4 on a pair and everybody's done already. And you're like, where'd you go?
Yeah.
Can
Matt said, I never missed with urethane when I hit the lane. And so it is true that he literally slam dunked it in the gutter. And I'm pretty sure it hit the edge of the lane too.
No scrape on the ball?
No, it was incredible.
Wow.
I was like, man, if that ball doesn't have a gouge out of it, I'll eat my hat. It came back perfectly fine.
Wow.
But shout out to me for giving them a 180 grip pad, and they bowled better that shift.
Wow. Nice.
You're welcome, Matt.
So this weekend we also had Tournament Club, which we crowned 2 new winners.
2 new champions.
Yep.
I was here to run it, and I did most of the work until the end.
So congratulations to Zach Phillips and Jim McQuaid.
Jimber!
What the heck did we bowl on? Oh, Rick Steelsmith.
Rick Steelsmith, 42 feet, 28 milliliters, I believe. 4.5 to 1 ratio. So nothing overly crazy, but definitely something playable for everybody.
Very playable. Everybody was, I don't want to say everybody was striking. That's not fair, but there were a lot of strikes out there. Yeah. There was scores, there were strikes.
It seemed like you could hook it a little bit. It seemed 100%. Like you could play straight a little, if you didn't have as much, and you were able to play straight.
Well, I was watching Tom Anderson. He was striking, as he typically does, pretty dead straight. Yeah. And then there's guys that are hooking the whole lane.
You bowled pretty well.
I bowled all right. I don't remember what I shot, 890 or something for 4.
I can tell you.
But it was 892. But I got beat up in the game 2 step ladder.
Matt needs a link.
Against who did I bowl against?
That's what he told me.
TR.
Yeah, you bowled TR.
TR put the GB4 hybrid in his hands and absolutely destroyed them.
The GB4?
Yeah.
He was throwing in outer limits. We just drilled that.
When he went to finals, he switched to GB4 and he could not miss.
Do you have to go into your email to send him a link?
I could try that again. Or
Or can I do it right?
Well, no,
from
if
here?
you click the invite button, it'll work. And then you just copy that and send them an email.
Yeah, there was a lot of good scores. I gotta iron out the divisions because I forgot to put somebody in Division 1. My apologies. Yeah,
Brett
Kyle,
Groff, if you're watching, take notice. You're going to Division 1. Where
I
you
think
belong.
I wrote 1 on his sheet and forgot to actually flip his division.
Oh, really?
Because the computer saves it.
Yeah.
So I think I did that. But Kyle shot an 892 for 4. He's averaging currently 204.7692308 in the tournament club. He's third high in the league, third high in the club. But if you need a certain amount of games to qualify, he is technically second. Tom Stevens is at 219.375 for 2 tournaments. Kyle is at 204.76 for 3 tournaments.
All information that we don't need to know.
Well, no, I just figured I'd throw it out there because we do have all of our averages. So if you are in the club and you are watching, it is on the Tournament Club Facebook page. Maybe we'll send that out during Christmas too. Over the Christmas break, we'll send out the averages because I know a few guys were looking for them. But yeah, I believe I also do have the standings from this weekend because somebody asked me for them. And I've been a good boy. I've been on top of the tournament club.
I can't believe it. I mean, even though you wouldn't answer me about format or whatever today. Because
no, I've done
I'm
everything.
busy. It's Christmas time.
Well, I was doing a bunch of stuff.
But,
you know what,
yes, no, your paperwork has been stellar this year. I'm very impressed.
You're impressed.
Yeah. If you could only do it for the podcast, that would be great.
I did do it for the podcast today. I got everything done. Let's see. This week I do have the Zach Phillips led with 929. Kai was second with 892. Tom Stevens 889. TR Millette 882. Dan Nutty 876. And then this must be from not the maybe Jake Bissonette 853. Tom Anderson 854. Jim McQuaid, our new champion, 830. But that was the qualifying. And then we'll throw Eric in there as the lone woman.
Yeah,
818.
I crossed with her. Absolutely crushed him.
Yeah, she did both.
She sat right at 10 the whole day, and the ball just stood up, struck, stood up, struck, stood up, struck. I'm like,
yeah, she had a good luck.
Yeah, you can't miss. So she was awesome. And we were running a little joke, and she's like, well, if it's got more than one pin, I can make a spare. But any single pin spare, she was out. It was pretty funny.
Geez.
But no, it was a good time. It was a good day.
Yeah. Tournament clubs was good, and we paid out 10.
Yeah.
Paid out 10 people out of 30, so we're at the 1 and 3.
Two tournaments in a row, we've gone up against an over 50, under 50 tournament, unbeknownst to us because we made our schedule in August. But we still were able to
pull 30 people.
Both times. So
that's always been our average forever. But I feel like the first one we had way more. We had like 35 or 36.
The very first week.
We
Yeah,
like 16 lanes of 4 on a pair.
Yeah. And then this upcoming tournament is going to probably be our biggest because we have the member guest doubles.
Yes.
So
did you pick a pattern for that?
No, it's TBD. It's a very, very interesting pattern. TBD.
Which means I need to pick. Everybody seemed to be much happier with my choices of patterns.
Oh, sure. When they're easy, everybody's going to be happy.
Well, I picked 48 feet last time. You know,
it was fun. Everybody had fun. But anyway, the member guest is a
37
good time. We get a few extra people from outside the club, and then we get a good number of bowlers from the club, and we end up probably getting like 50 people here.
Yeah, usually it's around 50.
And then you get some of the guys that bowl, they join next year.
Yeah, 100%.
Some guys join
100%.
this year
That's the whole
too.
point,
I mean, it's you still get 2 events. You're going to get 1 free. You get all the perks still, so you really don't lose anything with the way we've got it set up, which is a nice thing.
Yeah,
I would like to say my average is 150.
Oh, in the club?
Yeah.
Well, that's what happens when you show up once. You show up once or twice?
What the frick?
Once.
What the
If you
frick,
showed up the last 2 tournaments, you probably would be killing it right now. Maybe.
You're a bad boy.
All right, so let's get into the topic at hand, which I'm sure a bunch of people probably saw via the internet and social media, is that Brunswick purchased a distribution company, a bowling distribution company called Classic Products, or also known as Classic Bowling Products, which is very interesting because while it may not affect I shouldn't say it won't affect the end user, but while it may not be as much of a problem or an issue with the end user, it definitely is affecting a lot of people, such as pro shops and the existing distributors who are going to lose the Brunswick line.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting move here. I did talk to my distributor today. I didn't talk to him about that specifically, but as I was ordering, I was like, hey, I need ball X. I think it was Hammer Effect. And I was like, while I can still get it, to see if I could get a reaction.
Yeah.
And there wasn't. And I was like, just to clarify, are you not going to be able to carry this after X date? And he was like, yeah.
Yeah.
And that was kind of it.
There was some reactions on social media that I saw from, I forget which guy from Ace Mitchell, specifically, just because that's what I saw. And the post wasn't negative or positive. It was just, you could tell it was like, this kind of sucks.
Yeah. He was kind of like, I got kicked in the face or something.
Yeah. Before we get into like opinions or what we think could happen, I'll just read. Brunswick issued, and I don't know to who, but this was on the internet, the frequently asked questions. So it said, why is Brunswick acquiring classic products? So after an extensive review of the U.S. distribution model for bowling products, it was determined that changes were needed to improve product availability and overall efficiency in the supply chain for bowling centers, pro shops, and retailers across the United States. Initial discussions were centered around a direct sales model, but it was determined that the best option was to acquire an existing distributor to provide the smoothest, fastest, and best transition for the bowling industry. These strategic discussions resulted in an investigation into acquiring Classic Products Corp., the largest bowling products distributor in the world. And once it was confirmed that long-term business strategies to protect the bowling products supply chain were aligned, an agreement was reached. So basically what they're saying is, it makes more sense, and this is just a business decision at this point, but it makes more sense for them to distribute it themselves, save money on their end instead of paying the distributor or giving I shouldn't say paying the distributor, but the distributor buys the product at a much lower rate than the pro shop does, and then a much lower rate than the end user does. So they get a cut, then the pro shop gets a cut, and then the end user pays the ultimate price. Now they're cutting out the distributor, so they're going to actually keep that whatever difference is.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting way to put it, Kyle. I don't really know what else to say. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, it's I believe that they have to sell out by like April or something from what I read, and the distributors now. So they have to sell out of what they have, and I don't know if they have to sell it back after a certain time, or if they can sell it on discontinued or whatever you want to call it. But
interesting.
I'm not sure.
So they won't. Did he mention that they won't be able to sell their existing inventory after April 30th?
No one mentioned anything to me.
Okay.
It's in that frequently asked questions. I think it's April 25th. I think they're stopping all shipments into it until it's there we go.
No,
Ogle.
actually April 30th. April 30th they can buy I see it. Hang on. They can buy
great. I love that.
They can buy the product until April 30th. So they'll be able to distribute it after.
Yeah.
So basically all of next season you'll get Brunswick products through your normal distributor.
Yeah,
after
Ace.
that will be bad. Matt Ogle in the chat, ladies and gentlemen.
That is
Simonson
great.
works for Classic. Now he gets a check from Brunswick and Storm. That is hilarious.
Very interesting.
I was just going through the face spaces here. Tom Doherty posted something 3 days ago. And
Yeah, it was right after the announcement.
Yeah.
He said
When does Storm buy Ace Mitchell?
Yeah. I mean, listen, as a business, it makes complete sense, right? Like you need to cut your expenses down or increase your bottom line so that you can grow and create all these products. They own 7 ball lines, right?
Yeah, plus the, obviously the machines and the lane panels and then all your player accessories and all your
shoes and gloves and all this other
I
stuff.
think they still do ultimate with the grips and the interchangeables.
The what now? Just kidding.
The ball plug and
right.
All that stuff. So I mean, they have a giant amount of inventory that they probably have to ship out. I mean, now they don't really have to necessarily ship it out, I guess.
Well, they still do because they're still going to ship it to the classic warehouses.
It's just funny that they're going to take it from their place, ship it out, and then just why not just ship it
straight from
I don't know why you have to ship it somewhere else. I mean, that would be cutting jobs, which would be very bad.
It's life, I not to be cold-hearted about it. It's just it is what it is. But.
Yeah, I mean that's how it is. Now we have to make. I think I'm gonna have to make a account for Classic, and then to make sure that we have all the product that we need.
Yeah.
And then we can go from there. But we'll have to see. We'll walk those steps as things shake out.
The thing that I thought of immediately was basically you have 3 bowling ball companies. Motive, Storm, Brunswick. Brunswick and Storm, and obviously there are others, but let's kind of be real about it, about who are the main players in the business. Brunswick and Storm are by far the two major players, and I'm just going to shoot a number out. I'm making this up.
So like Hannaford and Price Chopper.
Yeah, well, not that half these people know who that is, but let's just make up a number that they account for 75 or 80% of the business, and Motives the other third or something, and then or quarter. But now these distributors are going to lose basically a quarter or 30% of their business, but in one fell swoop. You know what I mean?
I don't know if it's. I think it could be possibly more.
I'm 100%. It could be more. I'm just. What I'm saying is, like, in 1 year they're going to be losing all of that product that they normally sell, and how do you make that up? You're either going to be getting rid of employees, which would really suck, or they have to figure out some other means of product that they can sell, whether it's outside of bowling or whatever. But it's a huge chunk out of their bottom line, out of the distributor's bottom line.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting time to be alive. Drones, Brunswick buying distributors.
Acquisitions.
I mean, Jesus.
I will say, being from an industry where there are lots of distributors, generally speaking, when companies try to quote unquote monopolize like that, product speed of receiving product made, and product stocked generally becomes lower, because now they don't have to rely on, okay, well, I have this many balls in this.
They don't
warehouse.
have the drive to make sure that they have enough for their customers. I mean, they do and they don't, but I 100%.
Not saying they're going to be like that, but that is what I see in my industry.
Right.
Of when a company says, okay, we're done dealing with distributors, we're going to do it in-house now.
Right.
And generally things get very shaky for a while.
That's interesting. That's a good point. Because, yeah, you're relying on a distributor to purchase a certain amount of product.
Correct.
And now you're in charge of determining whether or not you're going to stock X amount of balls or Y amount of balls. And
that's one of the things that I thought about when I first heard about it. So that's something to look at. See, I mean, how fast could you get your Brunswick stuff from Ace Mitchell?
Overnight.
I mean, it depends on the time of year, but typically it's going to be an overnight thing. I think Classic has like 4 or 5 different locations, though. So I think the closest this side of what we would be getting from would more than likely be, I think it's Ohio. I think they do have one in Ohio. It might be in that sheet there. I know there's one in Las Vegas. I think there's one in Ohio.
Oh, yeah. The locations for Classic are Fort Wayne, Indiana, Largo, Florida, Garland, Texas, Henderson, Nevada.
So we're getting
all right.
Idaho,
So you're going to
Iowa? What did it say?
The closest for us here is Indiana.
So we'll be going Indiana.
So you'll be looking at 2 to 3 day ship.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it depends.
That's if they get it out of the factory the day you put the order in.
Yeah, obviously, what we get from now, they have Tennessee, Florida, New York, and Ohio. So if I don't get from New York, typically I get from Ohio because that's the main place. So I don't really have to go through Tennessee or Florida. So I'm basically going to have to be, 2 or 3 days out, which I don't think it's that going to be that big of a deal for the pro shop and how the changing is. If you already have Classic, you're making no difference. It's going to be no difference for you.
Hopefully the price goes down.
It depends.
Well, I mean, possibly.
It depends because now Classic is going to be strictly Brunswick. So
no, they will be selling, I think, every product.
They're still selling Storm.
If I read that correctly, I believe it's in there. They will be selling, the distributor will be all things, but Brunswick will be selling to Classic exclusively for their Brunswick stuff. If I read that right, or if I read a different email, obviously there isn't. I don't know if there's actual answers yet, but I thought if I read that, right.
if that's the case, I would not be surprised if you see other ball manufacturers pull their stuff from that distributor.
I don't know. I thought I'd read it in there. Maybe I'm incorrect. Kyle's gonna skim over it while I'm chatting, but
I'm trying to. I don't see anything like that, but
it's possible. Don't get me wrong.
But
I don't know why you wouldn't sell the other stuff either. If you're going to be a distributor, you might as well distribute everything.
Yeah, but it's Brunswick's company at this point, starting next year. Okay. So why would they want to buy product from Storm using their Brunswick money?
Listen, I'm just saying. I mean, why would you want? Because now you're not gonna.
I'm sure it's gonna.
Now the guys from
technically
Classic,
be separate businesses. The money made from the distribution company isn't going to be technically tied to Brunswick.
Yes, it is.
It's all going to be under the parent company.
Yeah, they're being owned by Brunswick. So
I'm
it's
assuming
Brunswick bottom line.
It's gotta be they gotta sell everything, because you're not gonna take away, because then you're gonna take away 30% of your business there. They're not gonna do that. They're not like that. I'm assuming they want 100% of the business. They are gonna buy from everything.
It would make no.
You would hope.
It would technically make no difference, because now you're not losing money in selling to the distributor. So if you just sell more Brunswick balls, you're already making more money.
Yeah, well, you're also not selling the bowling ball to the distributor for a lower price. It's going directly to the customer for $200 and whatever dollars.
Yeah.
So they're not losing that middleman cost. The one thing that I'm thinking is, you were talking about shipping. They don't have anybody close to the Northeast, so could they absorb that overnight delivery cost into their model, because they can now offer it at I don't want to say a lower price, because their prices aren't going to go down, that's for sure.
No,
like
but
they can't.
But because instead of the distributor paying them $100, now they're collecting the whole $200. These are just general numbers. Can they offer the overnight shipping from Indiana to New York?
No.
Just as
No
makeup.
I will.
They have a
I
warehouse
will
out here.
say, when I overnight parts in a box
that big,
this big,
tiny big,
$65. Imagine
not gonna
imagine
overnight.
four balls in a box. You're probably looking $120, $130
Yeah.
just to overnight.
I thought I read that they were going to carry everything, so I can't remember exactly where it was. 3194. I can't exactly where I thought I saw that, or where I thought I read it. I can't remember, but I would assume that it doesn't matter who owns Classic. Classic is going to operate as a full-time distributor regardless, so they're going to carry exactly what they're carrying now, but they're only going to get the Brunswick stuff exclusively, so people have to go there.
So the one other paragraph that is interesting, I think, to everybody in the sport, is it says, how did this happen? Again, this is coming from Brunswick. The fact is that the loss of bowling centers, pro shops, and league bowlers makes the bowling products business extremely challenging in today's market, and industry consolidation provides the opportunity for enhanced efficiency and improved customer support.
Yeah, I don't really like that statement.
You don't
I think-
like it, but it's pretty true.
I think it's I don't believe in that statement, because I think last year or 2 years ago when I went to the seminar, they said they're back to making 1 million balls a year, which hasn't happened since the 1990s. So if they're making 1 million balls a year, they can't be struggling.
Yeah, but ask the distributor if they're selling them.
Most of it's being sold. How much is sitting in the other places? I don't know.
That's what I'm saying.
But from the places that I get from, there's not much left.
What I hear,
maybe they shouldn't come out with 50 million balls a year.
I know.
what I feel out of that comment is they don't want to admit that they are monopolizing.
Well, sure, but
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it's obvious.
anybody
that they're
can
trying to
direct
get as much
sell,
as they
though.
can.
Anybody can direct sell if they want. I don't.
Well, they could direct
yeah,
sell
but that's
and take
not-
the distributor.
but that's
the
not-
monopoly happened when Brunswick and Storm each purchased 5 to 7 bowling ball companies. Like, that's the monopoly. Distributing it yourself.
Yeah, but no.
I mean, that is what it is.
That's a little different though. They're still there's still different brands under them.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not like they
all money going to Brunswick and all money going to Storm.
Yeah.
So I mean, just because they claim that I get it. They have different designers, and the bowling balls kind of do different things, but ultimately they're all owned by the same parent companies. So to me,
Are you sure?
Really?
I just wanted to say
but what I worry about is the price of the bowling balls are already $200, $250, depending on where you
They're going
go.
up.
All right.
Yeah.
When you monopolize, you control the price. You could say till you're blue in the face, we're gonna keep prices down. How do you know if the prices are going down or up?
Well, and what I'm thinking is, again, I'm not putting my faith into this, but what I'm saying is, if they are reducing their expenses by owning the distribution company, they could then lower
God, it says it right
their
here.
prices. Well, I know what
is the plan for integrating Classic products into Brunswick's operation? The plan is for Classic bowling products to remain in an independent operation as a full-line bowling products distributor, supporting bowling centers, pro shops, and retailers across the United States with all the current brands and product lines. So more than likely,
for how long?
That's what it says.
Just the current plan.
Yeah, so they're going
That'll be over in a year.
Okay, well,
There's no way that Brunswick is going to keep paying Storm for bowling balls.
I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't. If Storm is the number one seller
I
and
understand
Hammer
what
is
you're
the number two
saying,
seller, you're not going to not sell Storm and Hammer.
but it's
So you're going to take out a third of the business. Maybe even if not that, but
just
I'll
like
say
they're
maybe
doing
10%.
to their other distributors.
Yeah,
So
I got to be honest. They kind of deserve that.
I'm just saying. I mean, honestly, I don't think Brunswick really can't lose in this situation because of the lane machines, their oils, their lane panels, the
Lane
machines.
machines, who uses them?
Well,
I don't
no,
know.
they're not.
I'm
They're
just
not
saying
going to
there's
lose
just-
right away, but eventually PSOs are going to say,
I don't know about that. They got to get what they got to get to sell to people. I mean, if some guy wants ball X, I'm not going to be like, oh, sorry, I can't get that if it's a name brand. If it's a pyramid ball, yeah, I can't get that. Like, that's from China. But if you want a Hammer product, I'm going to make sure I can get that Hammer product, or else I'm going to lose that customer to another pro shop. So there's no shot that the pro shop say, oh, sorry, I can't deal with this distributor, even though I feel kind of weird doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I think
but
I
still.
think the Northeast is a little different because of how much product is going out. Because, like,
I don't know if any area is
I'd
more or less
imagine-
product, but
dude, they got to be drilling more bowling balls out west.
I would assume so.
It's way larger.
oh, you're saying more out west? Yeah.
Because like what I'm getting at is a PSO out west where they're doing more money than they need to could easily say, nah, we're gonna sell Brunswick now.
If you
We're just
don't
gonna
deal
have
with
one
it.
distributor. We're selling Brunswick. Or they could say, we don't agree with what Brunswick did. We're gonna just sell Storm and everything else besides Brunswick.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's an interesting thought for sure. I still think that you're gonna have to have both. I mean, you can't not. It's gonna be kind of annoying to order from two different places to get the same thing. But
Yeah.
but
yeah, Joey did make a good point. Like maybe maybe it'll turn into car dealership types where you just sell one or two types of cars, and then the other dealer goes to they sell the other types of cars. That's a good point.
I mean, it's definitely a possibility. I don't know.
Again, it's a distributor. The pro shop, I think the end user is not going to change. The pro shop is going to try to sell everything they can.
Oh, correct.
'Cause-
I'm not saying it's 100% people are going to stop, but I'd be willing to bet there will be PSOs out there that refuse to sell because
They
they don't
might.
want to have
It's
multiple
possible,
distributors.
but I mean,
think-
you would be hamstringing yourself if you only offered Brunswick, Deviate, Radical.
why they have 40,
Ebony.
50 current balls. They have plenty of balls.
I know, but there are Storm people and there are Brunswick people.
Yeah, I
You know
agree.
what I mean?
There are motive people.
There are
They're out
motive
there.
people. I'm just saying that's the 10% or whatever.
I think the Rebel, because I never say his name right.
Doherty.
Yeah, I always want to call him Daughtry. I think that his comment too about when is Storm going to buy Ace, I think that's almost. I mean, I don't know. Obviously, the financials and
Who knows? It could already be in the works for
It could
all
be,
we
but
know.
it'll be inevitable.
I don't think that Storm could do that.
Why?
Because I think Brunswick is a much larger corporation where they have the lane machines and the string machines and the free falls, the
Well,
GSXs.
They
and
also have
the
more
panels.
overhead because of that.
Yeah, I'm sure, but still, they have so much more to make money off of, and so much. I guess there's more overhead, but they just have so much more to offer as a corporation for the bowling industry. Where AMF and Storm are not really. I don't think they're aligned in any way. But it'd be different if Storm owned AMF and then had their own string setters
Mhm.
and their own free falls and their own. Then I think it would make sense because then Storm could possibly do that. But now you're just saying that Storm is going to buy Ace Mitchell out, but then they're going to have to buy, or however they do it with the lane panels and then lane machines, and then you got to do this and that and this and that.
Well, they are.
It's hard to do all that, and then they have to put up more money to be able to have that for the people to actually get. But if they don't sell it, it's completely different. Well, Brunswick has already manufactured this for years, so
I suppose Storm could just sell all their equipment to Classic for a few extra pennies.
Oh, they could
just to
put
give their own
They could put a
distributors
tariff on it.
the advantage.
they could do that, right?
Of course
Yeah.
they can. They can
Absolutely.
sell whatever they want.
You're
Yeah.
allowed to sell it whatever price you want to sell it.
And listen, I don't know if they're gonna, if Storm will actually try to buy a distributor. I just don't think it makes as much. And obviously, I don't know anything about the money side of it, but I feel like maybe Brunswick has more to offer as a whole unit.
Yeah,
'cause
100%. I get what you're saying. They cover a lot of products in the bowling
They
industry.
could literally just build a center if they want.
They have
to.
more buying
Sure.
power.
They have
That's
the
the way I'd
furniture.
put it.
They have the furniture.
Top
They
to
have the
bottom.
scoring. They have the You could really make you could do a whole shop. You can do everything at once with this. So
Yeah.
I think that's why it makes more sense for them to do it. So I think I don't think you'll see Storm buying a distributor. I mean, maybe you will. I mean, drones are flying over New Jersey. I mean, you could
Can't get over it. You can't get over it.
Maybe they'll do it. I don't know. I mean,
He wants to know. Hey, I don't know if you guys noticed. Someone hopped in.
Yeah, we already talked about him.
Yeah, he's weird. I don't know. He's not even on the thing. He's probably in his car again.
All right. Well, that being said, before we get to it, we're going to talk about the new Physix Blackout. Before we do, like, subscribe, click the bell to get alerts from the channel. Watch on YouTube, Facebook. If you can't, download and listen.
God, we
Share
should.
your favorite podcast service.
Great idea. We should direct sell our shirts to people.
All right, you pay for the printing, and we'll do that.
How many shirts are you paying for up front?
I'm just thinking off the top of my head. I mean, we had a lot of followers on right
I mean,
now. They
you
might
could-
want a shirt to watch on Thursday night.
You could buy a bunch at discounted rates and put it out in
100%.
Oh, we gotta talk to Matt and get his eye trademark, and we'll put that on the shirt and say Thursday night viewer.
There we go. If he's still on, maybe he can give us the thumbs up.
Heyo.
All right, so let's bring Matt in. We're going to talk about the Physix Blackout for a few
Is he
minutes
on?
here. He's right there, man. Bing, there he is. Can you hear us, Matt?
He's in here.
Oh, I'm gonna put.
Oh yes,
I don't
I
even know
even
if
guys.
Here he is. All right. So yeah, Matt threw the blackout for a few shots, got us a recording. And
Can you
did
tell
the
us we're
same.
doing like a different segment?
Yeah, well, sure. We're including a ball review this week to see how it goes, to see if it's something that will work in the show. So we're going to do a quick review of the blackout, the newest blackout.
The atomic physics blackout.
So
It's not really atomic.
no, does that have AI in it?
Yeah, it does.
Well, while we pull up the video, why don't you give us a little information about the?
You want to watch mine? Matt outdid me on this one.
We're doing Anthony's first.
You're doing mine first.
Oh,
yeah.
Anthony's first. Do I have to click it?
Do we want to do Matt's first?
Wait, where's Matt? I
Matt,
can't
how
even
much
see
time
him.
you got?
Huh?
How much
Time as far as what?
Being on the show. Okay, you're on. It's fine
Oh, whatever.
we-
Wait, why can't I see
Yeah.
him?
because he's audio
not on
only
video.
today. He's on the line. Matt is on the line.
He phoned in, Anthony.
I need the answer for who was the first president of the United States for $1 million.
Oh God.
All
right,
so
here we go.
This is Anthony's video. So Anthony, you
I-
can give us a little.
I tried my
overview of
best
how
here.
this is
So
going.
here we got our video. We got a blackout, Physix Blackout, 35 by 4 by 65. I think Kyle's gonna hit the go button.
Maybe.
So I have the picture there of that one. That way you could see it a little bit. It's pinned down. We got mass bias outside the VAL, so it's supposed to roll pretty early. I drilled it just like an absolute power, and that's actually what we're gonna be comparing it to today. So did you hit play, Kyle?
I did.
How's
Does it
it-
not go?
No, you don't
Oh,
know
what
what
the
you're
heck,
doing.
man? How many times do I have to hit this button? There we go.
Okay, here we go. So first shot up, I think we were bowling on a USBC Open Championships pattern here today. I've got a few shots here. I threw that one good. Probably sliding right around 25, 30, throwing it right around 10. My feet weren't in the video on this one. I don't know why.
I don't know because we're getting a good shot of your behind. That's for sure.
Yeah. Same shot here. Ring 10.
Seven.
There's
You're
ring
left-handed.
7. Yep.
Same difference.
Then we got our absolute power in here. That blackout was a little clean, pretty quick off the back end for me. So then we wanted to throw the absolute power because this ball's been in the bag for like a week or two. It's a little bit earlier, I think. And then that was in the same spot as the first shot. So we as a blackout. So it's a little bit earlier, a little bit more overall. And then we moved a hair bit more to the right, through to the left, and then we got to come back and be high flush. So then we've got the blackout again. I did these last two shots here. Overlay. So that was your blackout. And then quickly at the end, we've got the absolute power again to show you back-to-back shots. That one's a hair bit more to the right with my feet. We're probably about 10 down lane, it looked like.
Yeah.
With both balls. With the black ball, the Physix Blackout, we've got a little bit more length out of it. I know Matt and I are completely different. We always see the ball different, but the Physix Blackout was a little bit cleaner for me than the absolute power. It didn't read the mid lane as hard. It wasn't super sideways off the back. I really haven't gotten along well with like a attention star or I'm even trying to think like a attention star S2. Those balls seem to not really do well for me. They just don't read the mid lane enough, even though I drilled the attention star S2 a little bit stronger. So with the stronger cover on the NEX from the Physix Blackout and a little bit of a stronger core here, I feel like without power edge and a little bit more surface on it, I can get this ball to be a little bit more versatile for me when, we ball out of an ion max, or if the attention or the absolute power is a little bit too early, we're going to be able to go into this ball. So it kind of gives me that 3 ball arsenal for asymmetrical pieces. So it is something that I think I can use a lot more, or if we're not on a ton of volume, you know what I mean? I'm going to be able to use this ball. It's shaped really well. It shapes good on the house shot. It's a little bit strong for the house shot. So this ball's going to be pretty versatile. I don't really think I'm going to use it or see a lot of people using it when there's a ton of volume on the lane, unless you hit it with a ton of surface. But I'm going to let mine shine up a little bit, and it's going to give me a little bit more pop. But overall, the absolute power in that ball are two that I think are fairly close. I do see the physics being cleaner, a little bit more whippy.
Would it be fair to say that this will probably be more of a house shot ball for you? You may not see it in a tournament with being on the left side.
Well, see, that's where, we've talked about this, like Attention Star S2. Even Matt will probably tell you, on the left side, typically we don't get to those bowling balls.
Right.
So the E-tracks, the little cleaner covers. We don't see those because there's not as much transition. I was talking to another lefty today who literally said the same thing. There is not enough transition on the left side. So we get stuck typically in urethane or really strong covered balls to kind of get the ball rolling, because there is no breakdown as much. Typically, they're just pretty lubed up on the lane. So this ball, do I think I can use it? Hi, Matt. We can hear you.
He went in and out.
Did he?
Right.
With the black ball, I feel like I can use this ball. I do think it will come out on a tournament pattern. I do believe on the longer patterns, I'm going to be able to use this ball because it's not going to burn up in the front or the middle as much. I do feel as if with the lane panels, the way they are in this area, I feel like the Ion Max sometimes is a little too much ball. Yeah. I mean, it's a lot, but it is still a little too much even pinned down. I feel like an Absolute Power and the Physix Blackout are going to be more of my 1-2 punch if I have to throw asymmetrical balls than really that Ion Max. So honestly, I think it is a great house shot killer. I think it's going to be awesome for guys because it's going to blend out the wet dry, but it's still going to be clean enough. But for my usage on tournament patterns too, I think this ball is going to be kind of a winner for all sorts of players, straight and guys who hook it.
Especially guys on the right, probably.
Yeah. I mean, if a guy has lower rev rate, he's going to be able to get this ball to come up off the spot because this ball is a little bit more asymmetric, but it's not going to be as early as an Ion Max. It's going to be a little cleaner than an Absolute Power too, which was a fan favorite for some of our guys here on the house shot.
Speaking of, GG3 wants to know if they discontinued that.
They did, and we have 4 in the shop.
It's only been a year, right?
Yeah, we've got 4 in the shop though. I was a good boy. Made sure that we had them in here because I know that ball was fairly popular for a lot of guys. I did drill one. I was going to drill another one, but they discontinued it like the week after I drilled it. So, and it worked. That was the ball we used at the
4 in the shop.
I know. I'm not worried about it. I got 4 in the shop, but I'm just saying that ball worked good at Megabucks. I feel as if, like you said, Blackout's going to be good on house shots for guys who want to hook it, guys who want to play straight. I actually think it's going to be an awesome ball. It's a little bit more than an Origin as well. So that latest review, we did put that up. It's a little bit more than the Origin too. So that can be a nice 1-2 punch there. And I feel like, the Origin and that ball are going to be great on house shots. So
awesome. So Matt, we got some videos of you throwing it on the left side. Of course, we have 2 lefties, so I don't know what we were thinking with this, but
somebody said I got to flip myself to a righty.
You could just do the reverse camera.
Someone did complain.
Anthony and I see the ball differently though, because I'm going.
That's true. You guys are complete opposites.
Yeah,
Anthony's a right-handed lefty.
No, it's the other way around.
Oh, yeah. Matt's the right-handed lefty.
Matt is the right-handed lefty. I'm the guy who just throws urethane on 98% of the patterns.
Yeah.
I have to convince Matt to use urethane.
And then he says, it's trash.
We love you, Matt.
All right, so let's bring up Matt's video, and then you can give us a little rundown of what you saw.
Yeah, so I think I was sliding around, I think I was around 27, 28 with my feet on this video to start. But like Anthony said, he saw it more angular. I did not. I saw it smoother, way more cover than a regular pearl.
How did I not see this coming? No, I did. 100% I saw this coming. Yeah. That you would say that.
Well, my XL, which is I think I threw 5 shots with the Blackout in this video, and then I threw the XL. So you'll see that one angle a little more if the video ever goes.
It paused itself.
But my physics is 4.5 by 2. Similar to XL, I think the XL is 4 by 4.5 by 2.5. So I went a little bit taller of a pin, but it didn't really it blended it. It was very dull. Actually, when I opened the box,
you got it saved on your drive, Kyle.
Maybe. There it goes. Nope.
No, I didn't.
All right,
No,
keep talking,
it's just
Matt.
not
Keep
buckling.
talking.
It's
All
not
right.
buckling.
So it was just it's smooth. It really blended out the wet dry. I agree with Anthony. I think his ball's gonna be very good on house shots. Blend out the lane. Especially around here, more higher friction lane beds, older lane surfaces. I can see this ball being like used more for me and probably Anthony than like the Ion Max, the XL, the harsh reality solid, just because it's going to give us the same look, but it's going to get to the fronts.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. The fronts are a little bit more beat up here, so it's a lot easier to use a pearl ball, but for us lefties, a lot of times we don't get the ball to read the mid lane enough. And I think this ball will definitely do it. I mean, mine definitely has a little bit more angle, I feel like, down lane. I mean, maybe I'm crazy. But, I think that you're 100% right. We're going to use this ball a little bit more than some like the stronger balls here.
Right.
GG3 says he'll take 3. But he wants to know if it'll work out at Cahoes first.
It'll work at Coast.
Go
I
ahead,
did
Matt.
throw
Sorry.
this ball Sunday, actually. I threw it.
Really?
I wanted to see what it would do. I went strike, and then I plaqued the worst 7 possible.
Is this before or after you slam dunked it in the gutter?
Oh, this was the first call. This was before you even walked in the building. I was like, I wonder if this ball, if I throw it at the gutter immediately, what it would do. So I threw the first one, threw it right at the ditch. It like blended it off. It rolled nice. Split to 8-9. I'm like, wow, let me do it again. I missed in the second shot. Probably hit like 7-8 up the lane. The ball had no chance of hooking. So we can confirm it does not handle oil very well. 35
It was.
mils.
I mean, to be fair, it was 35 feet. I mean,
35 mils. 35
yeah.
mils.
Oof,
Yeah,
sorry.
so pearl and 35 mils still don't go together no matter what hand you throw it with. But I definitely agree with you. It's going to be a very popular ball, I think.
Yeah, I really do. It smells like pineapple. It's got a great scent to it. The other thing too is Matt. When we get this video to play, I was on a Reno doubles and singles pattern, which I think was about 23, 24 milliliters at I think 38 feet, I believe. So it was a little bit shorter, a little bit lighter volume, and you see it had pretty good motion, but it still got through all of that kind of friction that's out there. It didn't rev up too early, and I watched a lot of the righties where their balls were hooking off their hands. And then Matt's video, when they get it to go, was on a more of your typical house shot. So you've got 2 different videos here. You've got mine, which we're both a little bit farther in. So I don't think this ball is going to be a straighter ball. I don't think it's going to be something where your angles are straighter. I think it's going to be you're going to be able to open your angles a little bit more with this ball, which is interesting since it's asymmetrical and it's a little bit stronger of a core. But I think you can open your angles a little bit more with this ball. And if they are pretty souped up in the middle where there's a little bit of volume, I think you're going to be able to get it around the corner. Matt, what do you think? It's a little bit for lighter volume, you think?
Yeah, I would say more medium heavy, like not. I'd probably say anything less than 27 mils, probably.
Okay, so I think I can definitely go around that. You were making me laugh so hard because I'm pretty sure you said this ball doesn't like oil. So,
well,
you're typical lefty.
Yeah.
27 mils is not. That's not a lot for these days.
Well, these days, you're right. That's not
okay.
that much oil, but
I guess 27 isn't a lot. But for me, I think that 27 is quite a bit. I think that once you get over 27, it all just blends together at that point. But I think that you are definitely right. A little bit like 30 mils. I don't think this ball is the absolute best. I think that's when the ion comes out. But I think if you're under that, you're around 27 under. I think that this ball is going to be extremely good for, I really do think like 95% of players. I think that if you are a serious bowler, this ball could be something that could be used on a lot of different things and a lot of different styles. I think this ball could really fit a lot of different people's needs, which, a lot of people always say, but I think that this one and the Origin were probably the 2 that I think are the most versatile for both hands and I think all different styles.
Yeah,
all right,
I
Matt.
agree with that. And this is the first time we've seen this cover in probably 3 years. When was I think the Proton Physix was the last time they used NXG, and the Pearl version of this was on the Axiom Pearl, and that was during COVID, I believe.
Yeah, the Axiom Pearl was also a super fan favorite here. My wife loved that ball. We had Zach Phillips love that ball. Zach Phillips shot his first 300 with that ball. That ball was absolutely lights out.
Phil James threw that.
Phil James loved that ball too. Yeah, I mean that ball was fantastic. I don't know why it's not on as many bowling balls. I guess you don't want too many of them to have that cover because you want to be able to kind of differentiate a little bit more. But I think this ball, like Matt said, is super versatile. And you can use it on a variety of conditions. And I don't think it's going to be, a ball that stands up and goes forward. I don't see that out of this ball. I don't know if you did see that, Matt. I didn't see the ball go forward.
No, I didn't. It was pretty
crap.
Smooth.
He's agreeing.
Yeah, this is weird. I think mine's just a little bit cleaner, maybe because it's pinned down. But
what? Where are you going?
What?
It does shine up a little bit. I mean, I've used it a little bit here. So, the cover does shine up. Not as quickly as R2S. So I think this ball will hold its surface a little bit longer, which, if you do hit it with surface and you are in a tournament, I think it'll hold its surface better than like Summit Ascent or an Absolute Power. So I think this ball will be a little bit more usable if you need surface on it as well.
The Ascent shines up so fast.
Yeah, I've noticed that R2S that doesn't have the nano in it, I guess. And R2S Deep, those balls typically shine up a little quicker because I don't think they're able to disperse as much oil. So maybe they're not able to absorb them as fast. I'm not sure how that works, but I've noticed that those covers do shine up more. So I do try to drill those covers a little stronger so that way I can leave them a little more lane shine. And then the covers that are a little bit stronger, I typically, I have been drilling them all the same, but typically, we do with the 60 by 4.5 by 35 to test them out. But in this case, I wanted to pin down one to test the absolute power to see how close they were. But I noticed that it doesn't shine up as quick. I know maybe people don't talk about that, but I mean, when I'm bowling, I look for a ball that's going to hold surface better. That doesn't shine up as fast because I know that my reaction is going to be more consistent throughout the day as well if I hit it with surface. So I'm going to be able to stay in that ball a little bit longer too. If I know it's going to shine up faster, why would I hit it with surface? Because now, if there is any transition or any differences in the lane, if that ball shines up quicker,
it's going to make it worse.
Right, I'm not able to read the lane as quickly. So I think this ball holds surface pretty well too. I think that's kind of like an underrated thing we talk about, but it could be because the covers are stronger on that ball than some of the other ones that we've compared it to.
So, in your opinion, at least lower volume, maybe house shot killer, maybe not coming out until late in the day of a tournament.
I mean, for the left, it's, I throw a lot of urethane.
I'm talking as a righty.
As a righty, to be honest with you, I think it's something to take a look at if you like an absolute power, since that is gone now. If you really liked an absolute power and your ball's starting, that one's starting to get a little bit tired, or you want to get something that's similar, I think that this is going to be kind of the closest thing that I've thrown. I don't think it's the Origin. I don't think it's, an S2. I don't think it's those balls. I think that this NEX Pearl cover, the Infinite Blackout or the Physix Blackout, is going to be kind of the ball that's going to replace that absolute power, where you want that cleaner look with just a little bit of a bigger core.
Nice. All right, Matt. Thanks so much. I appreciate you coming on tonight.
Great to see you.
Oh, no, thank you. And Kyle, hopefully you and Nick take some points tonight.
One can only because it's been an absolute
disaster. What place you guys in, last or something?
I don't know anymore. Hopefully still the top 10. I don't even know.
They'll get up to the top 5 with us soon, yeah.
No, they won't.
But thanks for kicking our teeth in. I already mentioned it at the top of the show. Thanks for kicking our teeth in last week.
Hey, your friends are the ones that don't even tell me who I'm bowling until I walk in the door. So nice friends.
That was my brother-in-law, by the way, that asked you to bowl.
I know.
My own family.
Joey?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Matt bowled you like 2 weeks in a row and annihilated you guys twice.
He walked in and almost shot 1,000 this time.
Matt, I need a sub last week in March.
Nick and I look like we were...
I'll only bowl if you're bowling Kyle and Nick.
I will change the schedule to make that happen.
It's possible, though. I think we're pretty close. So it's possible that we could eventually be in the... We got, 1 or 2 weeks left?
This is last week.
Oh, this is last week
of the half.
Oh, this is?
Are we bowling next week, by the way? I think we are, right?
Yeah, it's the day after Christmas.
Day after
all right. Well, thank you, Matt, for coming on. Thank you guys all for watching tonight.
Great show.
It was an excellent show. Thanks, Matt Ogle, for chiming in because he's obviously on DV8 staff. So he probably wanted to watch and see if we had anything stupid to say. But
no, I don't think we said anything stupid. I think it's just an interesting acquisition, and we kind of brought some light to what we had from the Brunswick fact page here.
Joey, you're 100% right. You absolutely crushed them last week too.
Yeah, would you have 850?
Maybe. And
Nick had 820.
But it's just been a fact that every time Matt comes in and he's bowling us, he just throws the building. It's just crazy.
Have you thought about also doing that?
trying to be a left-hander?
No.
I mean, that's easy.
Just scoring.
Oh, no, I don't think, it never comes to mind. All right. Well, thanks guys for watching this week.
It's fantastic. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for tuning in.
And thanks
Make
for commenting.
To hit the comments, hit the bell to get alerts on YouTube. Make sure that you guys are getting all of our content delivered right to your front doorstep or your phone. Maybe one day we'll have drones deliver the videos.
Can't get off the drones. Don't forget to like, subscribe, click the bell to get alerts from the channel. If you can't watch on YouTube, you can always listen via your favorite podcast service. Thank you to Jack Station, proprietor of Town and Country Lanes. Anthony, good show, and thanks for letting us use the shop. Austin, thanks for coming back for the controls because we needed your help. Thank you to my family, Stephanie, Zach, and Ethan.
Jam bread.
We will see you guys next week. This is Down Lane Podcast.
This is my drone.